friends. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Lindsey.
And we're not your average mamas.
On this podcast, we're here to make you laugh, share our experiences, and provide helpful tidbits that will make your parenting journey just a little bit easier.
So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, and let us join you in your multitasking.
Not your average mamas.
A podcast showing you that parenting is anything but ordinary.
Ding, 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 ding. It's gotta be it.
You know, we gotta do what we gotta do to get the views on our podcast that people listen to.
We need some views from the cleavage.
I'm not above it.
Oh my gosh, it feels so nice to sit down. I literally have not sat down today.
I understand. I also haven't. This feels good.
This is our podcast where we just
sit and breathe into the microphones and relax. Relax with us. What is the breathing technique that you like?
Oh, you breathe in for 4, and then you hold for 7, and you breathe out for 8. Welcome back to whatever episode this is. We don't know anymore.
I think it's lucky number 13. Possibly
14.
14.
14.
We might do a little switcheroony. We're not sure.
Yeah, I think I told Jordan that his was going to be released on Thursday, but I am going to backtrack on that. He's going to have to wait to hear himself talk.
Maybe he can listen to it at home.
Yeah, be like, I edited it here. No.
All right, should we backtrack and say what happened tonight?
So I got home, was walking from our garage to our house because it's detached. And I looked over into our neighbor's yard and I was like, wow, they got a puppy. They got 3 puppies. And then I walked forward a little bit and I looked over again and I was like, that's Pip. And that is 2 giant ass dogs attacking Pip. And I was like, Pip! And I ran over and there's 2 little kids with the dogs and they were there. Well, they're probably their parents' dogs, and they were trying to help Pip and they kept saying sorry. And I just literally went and grabbed her by the neck in between these 2 dogs and just walked her to the house while they were trying to jump up on me. I was literally holding Pip over my head.
Full mama bear mode. Saving your cat from 2 feral dogs.
Gosh. I was literally shaking afterwards and I couldn't figure out why. But I was I literally just put my hand in between all these fighting animals and just picked my animal out and just went back home.
Just the adrenaline
after,
oh my
gosh.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then she was breathing hard and drooling. I cannot say that word.
Drooling.
And so we went to the emergency vet. We were there for 1,000 years. They wanted to keep her overnight. And we said, do you have money? Because I don't. They did an x-ray. She was fine. There was no internal bleeding, no broken bones. She was just in shock. And I am 100% sure the drive to the vet also put her in shock.
Has she been in a car before?
Yeah, she's been to the vet. I mean,
I suppose she goes to the vet.
She moved 3 places with me. So she's been in the car. And we didn't even put her in a kennel. I threw her in the front seat and I was like, let's go. We packed up Kian and we hit every freaking stoplight on the way to the emergency vet. And I was like, if we hit one more light. And Kian was just freaking out on his own. He was stressed out about, daycare. And then Pip was stressed out. She was howling the entire time. But we're going to warm her up. We're going to get some fluids in her. They told me that I can take her temperature rectally every few hours if I want to make sure that she's going in the right direction. And I was like, I just think that she just needs to go home.
Yeah, probably just more stress.
Take a nap. They held her down for the x-rays. I definitely feel better that I know she doesn't have any broken bones or there's nothing internally happening.
Yeah, I think you did all that you could do. I mean, just overnight monitoring, that's
so. And at the emergency vet too, if anything happens, I'm home tomorrow. I have tomorrow off and I can go to the regular vet where everything is so much cheaper.
At a better time that you have tomorrow off just in case to monitor. So if it's got to happen, at least you don't have to be worried at work all day tomorrow and being oh gosh, she's home alone.
Yeah. But poor thing. Oh my gosh. What a wild Tuesday.
And honestly, when you just got your kid from daycare, you're ready to just be home for the night. And then all chaos ensues. And you're just like, sometimes with pets, it's just one more thing. Like, we love them. I have 3 guinea pigs and 2 dogs. I love my pets, but this is way lesser of a thing. But sometimes my dog will mark different things in our house.
That's so annoying, though.
Like, our niece moved in for she just stayed with us for a couple weeks in between places. And after she moved out, literally my dog would not stop peeing on the couches down there.
Is he still doing that?
Yes, but luckily I washed all the bedding, and then I bought like this spray where they deters. Mm-hmm. I just didn't have any more of it because he hadn't done it since I had Rhea, because after every baby I've had too, he'll just like be stressed and start like marking. And this is just like a tangent, but that's what we're here for, I guess. It's so hard when you have pets and kids because you love them, but also they can just be a pain in your ass.
Yeah, I've never felt more guilt than being like, no, you can't keep her overnight. Like, I can literally not afford $2,000.
No, and especially like out of nowhere. Like,
I know. And like, technically the people that own those dogs should be paying this bill. So, but we were in a panic.
Hopefully you find them.
Hopefully they come forward and they're like, yo, sorry, here's some money. Because technically they had unleashed. I did post it on our like local Facebook group. And the first comment was a stupid guy that was like, well, you shouldn't have left your cat unsupervised outside. And then somebody commented, they're like, well, somebody shouldn't have left their children unsupervised with dogs that they can't control. I'm like, oh
gosh, I want to be part of that. The tea. Can I get screenshots of that? It sounds like just right up my alley.
Most of the people like hated his comment, or like they were mad at him, and a lot of people were like, yeah, you're stupid for thinking about that. But a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I hope your cat is okay. And I'm like, okay, me too, but like, who the fuck are these people? Who owns these dogs? And can they please pay this vet bill? Because this is not my fault.
Well, you're just going to be like walking the streets.
Wandering.
For the next however many months.
I mean, tomorrow's a nice day.
You're going to be like, oh, where are those dogs? You gotta, don't bring Pip.
No,
unless you want to lure them
not
out.
Going outside. And like, Jordan's like, I felt so bad because I let her outside because it was a nice day. He was like, I had just gotten home 10 minutes ago. She was outside for 10 minutes.
And was she in your own yard?
She was in our neighbor's yard, but like she probably was in our own yard. I'm guessing the dogs like saw her and then chased after her, and they probably went on a wild chase, and she must have been in those dogs' mouths for a while. So I'm just like, yeah.
So sad.
Trauma. But we'll get over it. She's good. I'm hoping the next 48 hours go up and up on the shock response.
Sorry, I'm getting texts. My mom wanted to let me know it's April's birthday today. I already snapped her. Happy birthday
to you.
You live in a zoo.
Your feet smell like poo.
When you sneeze, say achoo.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday, April.
Shout out.
Oh, to our sister-in-law.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not will be unhinged as usual. Oh no. There's one of my dogs that he's going to start scratching on the door. He's making intense eye contact.
Oh. He just smelled his own butt.
It's too much.
He's like, you guys again? Bye.
The dog with the personality of a guinea pig. Anywho, what are we here for?
I don't remember.
On this week's episode.
Wait, are you an asshole?
Yeah, I'm just introducing the episode.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, okay, this week's episode is going to be about finding yourself again in parenthood.
Yeah.
And our experiences in trying to find ourselves in motherhood after motherhood. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that in a minute here.
But first, speaking of taking your pet's temperature rectally, she like the vet first. The vet had to specifically FYI me. She's like, make sure the thermometer is only for that reason. And I was like, ma'am, you think I'm going to use a temperature probe and put it on my cat's butt and then put it in my mouth?
I thought she was going to tell you to make sure to not put it in your cat's mouth. Keep it under the tongue.
She's like, just leave that for pets. Like, just a pet rectal thermometer.
Don't have to tell me twice.
It's like, oh, I'm glad I will not use Keen's. What, lady? I mean, I suppose you should probably disclaimer that.
You're like, I'm actually just going to use my son's rectal thermometer. Just a quick 2-for-1. You can let's just drink a little tea here.
Oh, this is hot. Not today, Satan. That's funny. I have
her mug.
The best day ever.
Her sweatshirt says have the best day ever after her day was a total shit show. And then I give her a mug that says not today, Satan. My mug says keep Minnesota passive aggressive or do whatever. That's what it says. I love fun mugs. I like fun mugs and I cannot lie.
You other brothers can't deny. When a fun mug sits on a shelf, you gotta buy it up.
And a big mug in your face, you get sprung. I wish I didn't continue that.
I wish she would have just shut up.
Oh my gosh. What?
I just was thinking today that I met your doppelganger.
Did she look like me?
No, not at all.
Well,
But she had the same life as you, because I was telling her that I had
kids. Is she homeschooled?
I don't know yet. I didn't know.
You don't know yet?
We were.
Are you gonna meet up later?
I was like, hey girl.
I need another best friend named Brittany who does hair.
I need 2 Brittany's.
2 Brittany's for the price of one.
But no, we were talking about how she tried to cut back her clientele and how hard it was. And I was like, yeah, you guys just get popular, you know? You do your job too well.
I know. I got to start messing up people's hair.
Start dyeing it all black. Unless I want black, then do blonde.
I'll just show them in the mirror at the end and be like, it's the opposite day.
And then just like bring out your Edward Scissorhands hands.
I actually
Start
have those.
Laughing.
Remember?
I know.
I was Edward Scissorhands for Halloween a couple years ago, so I have like the fake. That'd be so funny. I would love that. Gosh.
I know.
I was just thinking about these tangents and how recording with our husbands went last week. And
it's not.
Jordan was frazzled.
Well, your husband was asleep.
Yeah, he was.
At least he was talking.
No, he was frazzled at me. Maybe you too. I don't know. He was just like, gotta stick to the outline.
I was like, Jordan, that's why everyone loves us.
It's funny.
We go off and then we come back on just like, a little bit.
You got it outlined. That's nice. But I have a story about something else. He's like, how can I keep reining them back in? And we're like, you can't. You can't catch what doesn't want to be caught.
What does 2 wild women?
2 wild horses in the field.
You can't tame us.
We can't be tamed.
Don't tame me now.
Oh my gosh. I never should wear eyeliner. Every time I wear eyeliner when I record with you, at the end, I'm just like...
Honestly, I think since we started our podcast, I've probably added 10 years to my life because I've never laughed so hard so much.
Oh, that's so good that I thought for a second you said you took 10 years off.
I mean, the first episode probably took the 10 years. The rest of them added it back.
So just like even out, you were still going to live exactly the same. I actually freaked Naya out. That's my 7-year-old. Because I told her she did something that took 2 years off my life. I don't even know. She just scared me. She did something that like scared me. Like, oh my gosh, that took 2 years off my life. And she's like, what? And I was like, nothing. And I just kind of like brushed it off. And then later, like that night, she's like, you can't really take years off of someone's life, right? I'm like, oh, shoot, no. You can't.
Kinda.
You can. You have.
So speaking of taking years off of your life, last night was the first night ever that Kean got out of his bed and came into our room. But I was like,
you lucky bitch.
He's doing naps, so yeah. Well, actually, this weekend, Jordan opened the door because, like, we, like, heard him, and he opened the door, and Kean was just, like, sitting crisscross applesauce at the top of our steps.
Oh, my gosh.
We're just, like, staring. We were like, good morning.
It was morning?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
But last night, it was, like, 1 a.m. I was deep in REM sleep, and the first sound I heard and woke up to was our doorknob jiggling. So I sat up and I was like, Jordan! And then Kean just like slammed the door open and he came stumbling in and he was like, I want to go downstairs. We were like, no, sir. And then I made him sleep with us because I was too lazy to go sleep in his bed. And then Jordan got mad and he went to sleep down in the guest room, but I didn't know that. And this morning I was like making breakfast, chilling out. The new Crescent City book 3 came out today. So I was like audiobooking that. I was having a good morning. And then all of a sudden I hear like the steps creaking like right by our kitchen. And I was like, the pantry door was open, so I couldn't see anybody. And I just heard it. And he, like right when he came around the corner, and I almost punched him in the face. I was so, I've lost, there goes those 10 years again. Negative 10 years.
Dang it. We got to bring it back up with this episode.
Okay, anyways.
When I was little, I used to not want to wake my mom up. And so I would just like stand at the side of her bed, just staring at her until my presence alone woke her.
Oh, much worse.
Oh, and then Naya, she started reverse crab walking, like in the bridge. Like when she does her bridges, she starts walking. And Jessie told her, she goes, Daddy, what would you do if I walked into your room in the middle of the night like this? And he's like, I would kick you.
Honestly, no, don't.
I'm glad that she knows that because honestly, same.
She would do that.
She would. Mm-hmm. A bunch of spooky kids.
And she'd be like, oh, did I scare you? Yes, you knew exactly what you were doing.
You knew what you were doing.
You professional.
Contortionist. That's just, she wants to be contortionist. That's why she keeps putting her foot on her shoulder and like asking if you can do this.
The answer is no. I've treated my body like a trash can for the last 20 years. Absolutely not, Naya.
All right. Here we go. Let's come to the first thing that we have to do tonight.
We had a debrief, okay?
We literally are only just wanting to hear ourselves talk on this podcast. We just want to record our conversation so we can always remember that.
Honestly, 7 million people in the world and we're the funniest too.
I know. What the hell? Well, lucky us that we found each other. And also you found Jordan. That's great. Okay, I gotta say one more thing. I almost sent this TikTok to you last night. It was like a guy. Oh, I hope I can say it right. He texts his wife and he's like, "Hey, I love you," and she goes, "Love you more," and he goes, "More than her." And it was a picture of her and her best friend together, and she goes, "Know your limits."
It's true.
It's
a different level. It's a different vibe. It's a different
type of love. That's like why you love your spouse different than you love your kids, different than you love your neighbors.
Different type of love. Anyways, assholes.
All right, I'm going to tell you. This is
the story of a girl.
Oh my gosh. Stop it. This is us recording it really, really late night. It's 8:26.
Late night with Britt and Lindsey.
All right. Am I the asshole for wanting a week's vacation alone, away from my partner and children?
No.
Already no. Already. You're amazing.
You're a genius.
Me, 32 female, and my partner, 37 male, are in a disagreement. He thinks I'm selfish for considering this. I don't think I am. He suggested I post here to see what you all say. We've been together for 12 years. My partner has 2 responsibilities in terms of the house. He walks the dogs in the morning, and he goes to work full-time, 8 to 6. More often than not, he falls asleep at 8 p.m. He works in IT. We have 3 children, 7, 4, and 2, and I'm fully responsible for their care, as well as every household duty, laundry, cooking, cleaning. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also self-employed. So after I look after the children all day, I then work for a couple of hours on my laptop. My birthday's coming up, and I asked my partner what he would think if I booked myself a vacation for a week on my birthday and went on my own. If he could use his PTO to take time off to look after and spend the week with our 3 children, taking them to school and taking care of the house. He told me I was selfish. It's selfish to want to go on holiday for a week for my birthday? He said yes. My partner hasn't done a load of laundry in 10 years. He cooks dinner occasionally 2 times a month. He doesn't hoover. No, hoover. He doesn't hoover, mop, or mow lawns. I think this is from a, vacuum, is that what I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Because they say going on holiday. I'm assuming this is from a different country. He doesn't hoover, mop, or mow lawns. I get it. He's tired and he works full time, but I work too, and I don't feel appreciated. I just want a week where I don't have to placate a crying child or stop the toddler from running into traffic or worry about everyone else's good time while sacrificing my own. The last time I spent time away from the children house was when we went out for dinner on his birthday in March. After they were asleep, I organized the babysitter. Oh, and my pap smear, which he tried to make me take the children to, even though he was home.
Get rid of him.
The holiday would be paid for entirely by me. He gets 28 days of PTO, not including bank holidays. Last year, he lost 12 PTO days because he didn't take them. We're in the UK. All right, there we go. Am I the asshole?
No. Girl, you take that holiday and you say, fuck you.
Yeah, you brought these children into the world with me.
Take care of them,
Take care of your offspring.
Figure it out.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, I would say 7 days is kind of a
lot.
Well,
yeah. I would say maybe like a 3-day,
even
3 to 4
nights. Yeah. I mean, get your full rest and rejuvenation. I think 7 days is hard either way. It's not just the PTO. It's there's other factors. So I can get why he's a week, really. But for sure, she deserves a vacation. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of funny. She probably wants an all-inclusive vacation for a week alone and not with her husband, which that's pretty telling. Unless they just don't have childcare.
I feel like just sometimes too, you're touched out and you just want nothing else than to be alone.
Exactly.
And do whatever the hell you want. That's okay.
You know what I would want to do?
What?
I would want to go to a tropical island with a pool and a floaty and a fun fruity drink and read my book in the sun for 12 hours until I turn 3 shades darker.
Sounds amazing.
I'm going to do it too next month.
I'm going to do it in 2 months with my husband.
Exactly.
I told him that I hope we make cruise friends, and he looked at me like I was psychotic.
Oh, I'm still Facebook friends with 2 couples that we met on the cruise.
I was
10 years ago, 8 years ago.
So fun. And he was like, it's our honeymoon. I'm like, you really want to spend 7 straight days with just me?
You will make friends unless you choose to have a table, just the 2 of you. Sometimes they have even in the mornings, you can have just open seating and big tables and you can talk to people. It's really fun.
I feel like we're going to make friends.
You'll meet people on excursions and stuff.
And it'll be just going to have to accept that we have cruise friends.
Exactly. Well, the reason I even told that story or that chose that Am I the Asshole?
Yeah, it was a good one for this episode.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Finding yourself again in parenthood and prioritizing your own needs when you have a lot of other people's needs constantly needing to be met by you day in and day out. And it's really, really easy to lose yourself in that, especially in the early toddler years. It's who am I? I'm nothing besides somebody that wipes butts and cleans up spills and doesn't sleep through the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was rough. I feel so my son was unexpected. I didn't realize that my whole life was just going to be 180'd. And it was a hard transition. I had a very lengthy grieving period for my old life that I was not expecting to have. And I feel like a lot of the people that I've talked to that are new moms that are my friends, I don't know if you went through this, but I just feel like everybody was like, I really wanted to be a mom and it's awesome and amazing. And I feel like no one was like, yeah, no, I fucking had a hard time being a mom. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just a bad mom.
I feel like I did not know what I was getting into either. I was the first one in my friend group as well to have kids. And I'm pretty adaptable. I'm really good at rolling with the punches and changes and stuff. And I do feel like I just took it in stride, but I also feel like I don't remember a lot.
You blacked it out.
I do, because then I had, when Naya was 8 or 9 months old, I got pregnant with Judah on purpose. My math was kind of wrong when I was like, oh, 1.5 years, 2 years apart. They're like 16 months apart.
They're Irish twins.
Right. And that was kind of crazy. And that we had like a 3-year gap then for my third, because it was like, wow, that was a lot. And honestly, I think it's a lot for your relationship as well. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other dynamic.
Yeah, and I think just every time your dynamic changes, trying to like get back on your feet and balance. But then I feel like your kids get older, and then you have to like re-find your normal every 3 to 4 months, especially when they're little, and so much changes so quickly. I feel like from newborn to 1 year old is like, there's so much freedom when they're 1, and then when they're newborn, you're just always like, are you breathing? How are you? Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
And you get into one routine, and then all of a sudden that changes. You think you're in a routine, but it's not really a routine. It's just like what's happening right now. Because then there will be like a shift, like a some type of leap or something they're going through, and then all of a sudden,
or they learn
everything's out the window.
Walk, and you're like, shit.
I just started sleeping through the night for the first time in 7.5. My oldest is 7. And so counting pregnancy, like 7.5 years. Okay. And just
so wild.
2 months ago. And now my 2-year-old, she's almost 3, is potty trained. And she's like getting up again now in the night to just, because she has a diaper on, to go potty in the middle of the night. So it's just always like you get a little taste of kind of what life was like before. Like, oh, I'm sleeping well again. And then something happens to throw a wrench in it. None of my kids have ever been good sleepers besides Rhea. But here we are. Now she's the one that's up.
And I'm sure it'll rotate again. It'll swing the other way.
Yeah. Naya's usually the one that's waking up. Now she's sleeping. Now Rhea. They all take turns.
At least they take turns.
They do,
Yeah, I feel like I really lost myself. And I honestly feel like I finally started finding what fuels my fire. I did see a video about, if you feel like you have not lost yourself in motherhood, find yourself a hobby and see who supports you and who lets you have time to do it. And I think it was this mom that was just trying to do something, and her husband wasn't letting her do it because she had to take care of the kids. And I'm like, that's so sad.
Well, and it's a fact that most men or dads have hobbies outside of the home, whereas women, their hobbies are always inside the home. Even if it's, we're literally podcasting in our house. That's our hobby. Gardening, knitting, reading, all painting, anything like that. Those all take place inside your house where you're needed, quote, needed. And then men's hobbies take them out of the home. Golf. Well, I don't even know. What other hobbies do men have?
Going to games that are like 2 to 3 hours long. Like hockey, baseball, basketball games.
But just like they wouldn't really consider the fact that their hobbies. I guess some hobbies, men, like gaming, that's one that's at home. Or even fantasy football is one that kind of is in the home. But just stereotypically, most moms purposely choose a hobby that doesn't take them outside of the home. Not that they need to be home, like not that they're not allowed to leave, but it's just feels like where you're most needed. How do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or they do it after the kids are in bed or whatever.
Yeah, it's rough out here.
I was looking on Pinterest last night at some things that you can do to find yourself again in parenthood. And one thing was make a list and just brain dump all the things that you loved to do before you became a parent, or things that you did when you were a kid, or things you just wish that you had more time to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that we forget when you're just in the monotony of the days. You're like, what do I even like? When people are like, what's your hobby? And you're like, cleaning my house.
Being a mom.
Good at laundry. Do that.
Dishes.
Real well.
Vacuuming.
But it's good to have hobbies because one day our kids won't need us as much, and we're also important.
Yeah.
We need to prioritize ourselves too, because as cliche as this is, and I don't want to say it, but you can't pour from an empty cup. Who keeps texting me? The group chat's going crazy right now.
The group chat go crazy.
White girls go crazy. It's actually my neighbors. Hey, Natalie and Marissa, you're texting me right now. I'm trying to record.
Shut up!
I saw this quote and I loved it. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. I thought that was so funny and cute. I love it. And it's just a couple minutes. Take 5 minutes to simply breathe. Mm-hmm. Get outside. Go for a walk by yourself. Read. Journal. Take a hot bath or shower. Talk to a friend. Listen to affirmations.
I feel like reading has been my great escape. I did read 8 books in January.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
I've consumed literature. Not the sophisticated kind either.
Well,
and if you want to hear more about it, join our book club.
Not your mama's book club.
Boop, boop. Bug, 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 bug.
I truly feel like reading is such an amazing way to detach and feel like you're outside of your home. Mm-hmm. You know, your mind can be a powerful thing. Same with, I know you don't like to do this, but I like to have an AirPod in and listen to a podcast or like even music. I'm not really big into music, but sometimes it just feels like I'm kind of away. It feels like I'm not...
You're on busy mode.
Yes. And I'm not like ignoring my kids, but it does help sometimes take the overstimulation away of like, especially if they're really whiny or loud or just I'm having a rough time dealing with that. Sometimes just having like my podcast playing in my ear while I'm dealing with that takes the edge off.
I would also love to know how people hear whining and have it not trigger them, because
honestly, nails on chalkboard.
I just want to punch a wall.
And I know it's... want to punch a kid.
That's true. Most of the times I feel like I'm like, okay, like let's just take a deep breath. Let's gather. But when it's like all day, every day, I'm just like...
Mine is like my kids getting hurt all the time. Again, today.
So much.
Naya got hurt 3 times. Literally just during quiet time. It was like 1 hour. And I'm like, my eye was twitching. I swear. I'm like, I ran out of fucks to give. I'm sorry. Like I couldn't. I was so frustrated because I was trying to get ready for work. That's the only reason I was frustrated. And I'm like, if you were just staying in your room and being good, you wouldn't keep getting hurt. But it's so hard to feel sympathy when they just keep doing the same things that get them hurt and wanting you to feel bad about it.
I feel like it's like a whole production too that you had to put on, and
you have to meet them where they're at, and you have to be comforting. And
some days.
What do you feel like you do for yourself that makes you feel like Lindsey and not like a mom?
Definitely this podcast. I think that's been a huge thing. And then reading. I honestly feel like, so my kiddo was 2.5, and I feel like just this last like 3 or 4 months, I feel like I've been finally like feeling not like my old self. And I don't think like you're ever going to get your old self back, which is another thing to kind of keep in mind. And I think it's like okay to grieve who you were and know that you're not going to see her again. But I also feel like motherhood does bring, like, it pushes you to do things and figure things out, because it's just not your life on the line anymore. It's your entire family's life. So if you're not putting things in place to make yourself happy, you're not only letting yourself down, you're letting like your entire family down by you just being miserable all the time.
That ties in with something I wrote down. In 2016, Nature Neuroscience published a study that revealed a mom's brain undergoes significant rewiring during pregnancy and for at least 2 years postpartum. And they couldn't provide definitive reasons why it happens. It's just thought that the need for a mother's brain to adapt to the constant needs of her baby and the stressors of motherhood play a key role in rewiring your brain.
Damn.
It's just wild. Like, you truly are not the same person.
No.
Like, you can't connect with that anymore because your brain's different. And that's why when we hear our babies crying in the middle of the night, I feel like I just like sit up in bed like instantly and I have to be there. Mm-hmm. Where men, dads, they can sleep through it because their brains are not wired in the way to respond the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that because half the time I'm like,
I know,
but I feel like for me, it's just like an instant.
I know, you're just alert, and it's just like nature.
An adrenaline rush.
It is. What else? Is there anything else besides reading the podcast, or is that your main things?
I feel like right now it's my main thing. I think
just you can only do so much.
Yeah. I feel like getting back into like non-fertility work has been fun too. And like getting back to like hematology and like getting to look at microscope things that aren't sperm have been fun. And just like learning a new LAS system. I know it's my job, but
it's just using different parts of your brain.
Yeah. And then like at my new job, I have to like do phlebotomy a lot. Like I didn't do phlebotomy at all at my old job, but I have to do phlebotomy now. So I get to like reconnect with patients again. And I have I feel like a lot of people don't like to draw blood, but I find it very enjoyable. And I find that I'm very good at it, not to toot my own horn, but
hey, you know what? If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying drawing blood again, and I don't know, just the drive, the views, the sun. What are we talking about?
We're talking about what makes you feel like Lindsey and not like a mom.
Oh, and I feel like nature. I feel like you having a cabin has been a game changer for my mental health.
Happy to help. Happy to help. And this summer is going to be great. We were at the cabin this last weekend, and we were just like mapping it out. We're going to get a big swing set up there.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like, well, I told Jesse about my idea. He's like, why do we need a swing set? And of course, we're going to have a swing set there. I already sent him a couple, but I think it'd be perfect, especially when we're building the new cabin. Mm-hmm. It'll be something for them to do when we're up there a little bit more. Yeah, having the cabin, I just love it. It's so great. Things I do.
What do you do? What does Brittany do?
It's kind of hard to separate the mom from the Brittany because I homeschool and I'm with them 24/7, but I strive to do it, and I think I do it pretty well, honestly. I compartmentalize different things in my brain where I can detach from it sometimes. Mm-hmm. But one thing is that I like to plan things. I like to have things planned that are outside of the house. Mm-hmm. Sometimes with kids, sometimes without kids. I know it's technically, I'm still like mom if I'm doing stuff with my kids, but it does just like feed my soul when I'm just out and doing fun stuff, no matter what it is. Date nights, girls' nights, all those things I love to look forward to. I don't love working out, but every time I work out, I do work out every day. I feel really good after, and that's what I need.
It's always the bummer. You're like, I wish I would feel good going into it, and then feel good after too. Exactly. Why can't I just have both?
Hype me up. I gotta hype myself up. I take baths almost probably 4 nights a week. We have a big soaking tub. That's one thing that really, like, my kids are always like, why do you take baths so much? And I don't drink anymore. It's just like the way that I can unwind and just relax. And I always read my book. Reading, I love to read. I love waking up before the kids. I don't do it all the time, but if I'm getting into the habit of waking up earlier before them and having my coffee and reading my book in the morning. And sometimes I'm letting them literally watch TV for an hour after they wake up, just so that I can have that time, because honestly, who cares? I'm with them the whole entire day. Yeah. We do stuff all day. I love that time in the morning for myself, and it really sets the day off right. And that is the reason I went, part-time with my job and decided to homeschool. I wanted peaceful, calm mornings. I don't love that we start with screen time, quote, it's just TV, but like, I need it. And sometimes it's okay to be like, this is something that I need to do something for myself. Yeah. And it's the only time they're all chill, quiet. That's not true, but it helps.
I feel like just like the morning, like right when they wake up, they're like most likely to stay watching TV for just a little longer. Right. Than like if you would randomly just do it in the middle of the day.
And we give so much of ourselves as parents. Like,
so much.
That's that tiny piece that you got to take whatever tiny piece you can for yourself, because it's not selfish. You need it.
For sure. You're not selfish. You're awesome.
I also sometimes just hide from my kids. Like, I'll just randomly, we have a pretty big house. I'll just like go somewhere where they don't know where I am. Just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Just whatever I want.
Just like, I had to look at this part of the wall.
I need to like scroll TikTok for 10 minutes in peace. And those little those little tiny things. Unplug yourself for a couple minutes and then get back at it, okay?
Yeah, I don't think, like, finding yourself and making time for yourself has to be, like, days or hours. Find things in the middle of the day, just random pockets of time for yourself.
Exactly.
That, like, recharge your battery just a little bit. It doesn't have to be extreme.
You don't need to be like, I need 7 nights away, like the woman that might ask. Yeah. Sometimes that's when you're at your wit's end. Yeah. When you want a full week away from your kids and your husband, that means that poor woman, honestly. I know. So that's why I would never say she's the asshole in that situation. I don't know if did we say that? I think we said
literally that. You asked a question and I said no.
Okay. That's good.
You didn't even get through the entire story.
But you just got to I love that. Just take little pockets of time in the day to just do things that you enjoy too. And just stop being a martyr. Yeah. Mother and martyr sound alike, but they don't need to be the same thing. No. Kids will just take and take and take and take whatever they can from you. And it's just in their nature. It's not bad. But it's not malicious. Need to set the boundary with your own body too. Some people even like, they don't always allow like cuddling with their kids. They don't let, them come in the bathroom. It's okay to set boundaries. Yeah. So many people let their kids just walk all over them and they don't have any boundaries. And that's when you start feeling burnt out and just like touched out because you don't have any space. Mm-hmm. I feel like me and Jordan have gotten really good at being like, okay, I'm almost at my limit. Can you take over? Yeah. And tapping out. He's very good. I feel like we're both very good at being like, yeah, I got this. Like, you go take some time. I do feel very lucky in that Jordan we try to keep things 50-50. Obviously, that's not always going to be what happens. But I feel like we're very good at like keeping things feeling even. I've always felt you guys were super good at that from the beginning. Yeah. Of like literally alternating nights for bedtime and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And then even tonight was supposed to be my night and he does support this podcast. So shout out to the hubby. One thing that Jesse does for me that I love, I usually am ready to tap out by bedtime. I've never loved doing bedtime. There's something about it that just makes me want to claw my eyes out. Yes. Some people, I feel like maybe if your kids are gone all day or something and you don't get much time with them, that's like your only time. Yeah, but even then, like, I don't know. I saw this meme that was like, no one's to-do list is longer than a toddler at bedtime. I just feel like I just get to my wit's end. So I just feel tapped out. Like, I feel like I want to clock out because my job is literally never ending. Mm-hmm. So when it's bedtime, I say goodnight, kiss them, whatever. I love so much that Jesse does the stories with them every night, and he'll tell the big two a story, and then Rhea, our toddler, like, she always wants you to sit down, meaning like sit in the chair in her room until she falls asleep. So he'll just sit like with his laptop and like finish emails or sit on his phone or something in the room while she doesn't want to be held or cuddled. And the fact that he does that, I just appreciate so much because I just don't like to do it. Mm-hmm. And I have to do everything else almost with the kids. So it is I don't even know if I told him that. So babe, if you're listening, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Are only human beings. Honestly, we can only take so much. And I feel like a big thing right now is like, there is no village. So like you don't have, like, we don't have our parents around to be like, hey, can you come down? Like, can you come over quick and watch the kids for a quick hour? Both of your set of parents live hours away. So it's like, it's not convenient. We don't really have anybody. It's hard to trust people these days. So like, you're really relying on yourself a lot. And I feel like that's almost every family with kids nowadays. You're like relying on daycare, yourself, and that's about it. That's all you get is yourself or daycare. Pretty much. I mean, or you pay somebody, or you pay somebody $1,000. I know, and now you have to pay per kid. It's like so wild. It's expensive, and the world's expensive. Oh, you're paying me $10 for 5 hours? Sweet. I know. Cheers. Kids barter these days. Actually, our babysitter is very sweet. She never has like charged us a price. But I always just pay $5 a kid unless they tell me more than that. But I feel like $15 an hour is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for a 16-year-old. Yeah. You know what I made at that age? $6.55 an hour at Coburn's as a cashier.
I made $7.25.
They denied me my quarter raise.
Oh, same.
I made a year.
I made $7.25 until I quit that place.
They were stingy. And then you would spend your money on their food products for your break.
Be like, I didn't bring lunch
for them, honestly.
They were onto something.
They're like, we're making money off of you people.
With these teenagers.
For real. Do you got any mom moments for me?
I do. So today, to bring it back to the whole Pip thing, I was like telling Kian like why because we picked him up from daycare. We didn't even unstrap him from the car seat. So I came home. What?
Marissa just texted there's 2 cats in front of her house fighting each other. This cat day. I swear. I have goosebumps.
What the fuck is happening with cats? Is there a full moon?
I'm clutching my pearls. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sidetrack.
Oh my gosh, when she got... Okay, I'm like flailing. I'm like a floundering fish. Oh my gosh, okay, so when Lindsey got here, I told her, and she told... I am frazzled.
Absolutely frazzled.
What is happening? Okay, Lindsey got here tonight. I knew about her cat. I was telling her it was just a weird cat day. She said... What do you mean? And I said, my kids found a cat that looked like your cat outside today. And they said it was Daisy, or her cat that got lost. And then I'm like texting Lindsey about her cat at the emergency vet. And then my client came in and he's like, there's a black cat in your front yard. And I'm like, what? There's so many cats. What's going on? And now I get a text saying there's 2 cats fighting in front of my neighbor's house. I am like shook. I'm like, what is
going on with the cat?
Oh my gosh. Are the cats sensing something before we
cat apocalypse.
Oh my god. It's catastrophic.
A catastrophe.
You've cat to be kidding me right now. Meow. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyways, to reel it in. My mom moment is about my cat. So I came home to work, and usually when I come home, I'll go home and then I'll pick up Jordan's car because we do have 2 car seats, but mine's not right. So we like it's flipped backwards. And I just like his car better. It's nicer. So I usually go home, switch cars. And now since I have a different job, I come from a different direction. So I actually have to pass by our house to go to daycare instead of the other way around. Because when I came from Minneapolis, I would go by daycare and then go to our house. So it feels more right to stop at home. So I stopped at home, saw Pip, got that situation handled in 10 minutes. And then I was like, well, we got to go pick up our kid. Daycare closes in 10 minutes. So I went to go pick him up. He was distraught because he did not have a coat. So I don't know if they sent his coat home with someone else or if she didn't see it. Who knows? He was pissed off that he did not have a coat. He was crying. And then we got home, picked Pip up not through her, but took her into the car. And then we didn't even unbuckle Kian. He was still buckled in. When we were driving to the vet, he had finally calmed down. We gave him some candy. And he was like, Pip's sick. And I was like, yeah, Pip's really sick. She got bit by 2 dogs. We had to take her to the vet. And he was like, oh, I just want to give Pip a hug. Aww. He kept saying that. I was like, you can give her a hug when we get there, honey. But we have to take her in and they're going to take her back. And then the entire time we were at the vet, he just kept, where's Pip? Where's Pip? He was so concerned. It was just so cute. Sweet. So sweet.
He loves her.
He does. Oh, and then also one that I forgot to mention last week. So he loves getting his nails painted. And he looked down at his nails and he was like, oh no, mama, they're melting. He's like, I gotta redo my nails because they're melting. They're just chipping off. So
that's so cute. I love his little tiny hands with his nails painted. They're so cute.
Yeah, they've already melted off, so we have to redo them again.
That's kids' nails for you. Naya still, like, her nails are, I feel like she's got, like, oily nails because it's, like, it just, like, pops off the second she's in the bath. Like, the entire sheet of nail polish. It's very weird.
Her body rejects nail polish.
It's sad. That's sad. Okay, my mom moment happened yesterday. Rhea was, like, stalling bedtime, so she had to go potty again. So she's, like, I'm in the bathroom with her, and she's like, Mom, I love your bones. They're so breakable. And she starts rubbing my arm, and she starts making, like, crunching sounds, like, they're so breakable. And I was like, okay, you are disturbing. Yeah, I'm so disturbed. Why are you
She just, like, threatened you? She was like, if I have to go to bed right now, I'm going to break your bones.
They're breakable, I can tell. I was disturbed. And then mother mom moment. Yeah, they just gotta brush over that one, being threatened by a toddler.
Real quick.
And then my oldest, she has been hustling her brother to get his money. And he is very, very generous with his stash of cash. He doesn't have much money. He's $28, okay? I know that because I hear about it all the time.
Gave $2 to Kian.
Yeah, he's like, Mom, can I give Kian $1? And I was like, sure. Why? I just want to give it to him. And then he's like, I'm actually going to just give him $5. And I was like, buddy, how about just the one is fine. He's like, 2. I'm like, okay, fine. So he's very generous. But my oldest is very persuasive. And I don't want to say manipulative. I want to say she's going to be a business owner someday. Mm-hmm. She is going to run the world and people will work for her, mark my words, or she'll be a lawyer. Anyway, I find out today during quiet time that she was selling him stuff out of her bedroom, making him pay her cash for things in her room that she didn't want. And she painted his face the other night. She charged him. She actually had some different designs he could choose from. Not to mention she's not ever painted faces before. She does a pretty good job. She does, but she said that one would be $6 if he wanted an entire avatar face, which, okay, dream on. And then, so he settled on a zombie face, and she only charged him $4. So he paid her $4 for the face painting. And I said, you gotta stop. You gotta do some chores or do something to earn your own money. You can't just keep hustling your brother for his money. And I think I made her feel bad because I found out she was giving him money back.
Oh.
But
she probably, that's just like so thinking outside the box.
Honestly, she has been asking like what she can do around the house to earn $11. What can she do to earn $7? I'm like, girl, you are asking for quite a high pay rate for picking up your bedroom that you should be picking up anyway for free. Why are you tricking me into paying you for cleaning your own bathroom? It's really, she's so smart and she's very, very persuasive. So I have paid her for things I didn't want to pay for too. She's tricked me and Judah. And
she got me.
One time she made a lemonade stand with the most disgusting lemonade. It was literally just chunks of fruits and vegetables she put in water. And she had a sign that said $99. And she was at the end of our driveway. And of course, no one was going to buy it. And Jesse felt bad. And he's like, I'll buy one, but I'm not going to pay $99. And she's like, you can have it for... He's like, I'll give you $2. She's like, 10. And he goes, 5. And she's like, okay. So she made $5. He gave her $5. And our friend is in sales. And he's like, literally, that's a sales tactic that I just learned at a conference last week. Like, he's like amazed. He's looking at her and he's like, that is actually very impressive. Like, instead of selling 100 cups of lemonade for $1, she told me she'd only have to sell one for $100. Work smarter, not harder. She impresses me, but she scares me.
Yeah, she scares me too. She also puts me in my place, and I respect that. Because if I didn't respect it, my bones are very breakable.
That's Rhea. They could go together. Those girls.
Rhea will be like
she'll be the enforcer,
the bodyguard that will like threaten you.
Exactly. And Naya will be the one that instructs it. She'll be like,
"That's $100," and Rhea will just be standing there like $100.
Welcome to Pound. Wait, no.
Should be like, your bones look very breakable.
The only reason I thought of Welcome to Pound Town is because right before you got here, I was on Facebook and there was a sign that is for a bedroom above their bed and it said Welcome to Pound Town. So it's still fresh in my mind.
I kind of want to get that sign and secretly hang it up in your guest bedroom.
Oh, that's so funny. That would be hilarious, actually.
Except I can't keep secrets from you.
Well, you know, what if I put it up there and just told you that's always where we bang? Drop my phone. We only have sex on the bed you guys sleep in. Here.
Thanks for warming it up.
Just gotta make sure everything's in working order.
Just gotta make sure this bed works.
Gotta make sure the springs aren't squeaky.
You put like a little sticker on it that's like green. That's like Brittany and Jesse approved.
At 2:45 p.m. today. Last approved at 2:45 p.m.
Expires like tomorrow at 2:45.
It's like those bathroom porta potty signs last checked.
Yeah.
And they like sign and date it. I'll put that in the bedroom on the wall.
Tasteful decor. That's what we're all about.
Well, the bathroom down there has the sign that says "Have a nice poop." So
I love that sign. It makes me feel welcomed. And
every time you poop in that room, it's like, thank you. I am having a nice poop.
It was nice. I just watched that video of Billie Eilish talking about how much she likes to poop. And I'm like, yeah.
I haven't seen it. Gotta add that to the queue. Well, I guess we should wrap it up.
Or not. Just talk forever.
Let's just record ourselves talking into true delirium.
I'm already
What time would delirium hit in?
2 minutes. It's
honestly
been a long
when we
day.
recorded with Jordan and Jesse, I feel like
that was a weird time loop.
This is our pod lab now. This is our 4-season porch that turned into a pod lab. In case anyone cares.
The vibe is...
Honestly, it's cozier. It's cozier and it's ours. We didn't even use this room. We have a freaking 4-season porch. Do we use it? No.
Absolutely not. Why would you?
We only let the dogs out through the store. That's it.
It's all it's good for.
But now we have comfy, cozy chairs and nobody probably cares. You know what's weird is this whole time it feels like we were talking to other people. Now it feels like we're just talking to each other. Like this part won't be in the podcast. It feels like we're just on the phone or something.
I know. Well, maybe it will be in the podcast. Who knows?
Maybe you guys will. This is the pod that never ends.
It goes on and on, my friends. People started listening to only half an hour, but now it turned
we
into...
got you sucked in. You thought you were going to get up in the 30 minutes? You thought wrong. The night got away from us. It really did.
It really, I did not expect to spend 3 hours at the vet.
What a waste of a night.
Honestly. And, I feel like every time we told them something, it took them, 20 minutes to circle back.
How many cats are in the ER right now? How many pets?
There was, 3 dogs. And a demon.
What happened to the dogs? Did you get a full story?
No, I just saw...
HIPAA? HIPAA? You know what HIPAA is?
HIPAA, the law?
Yeah. You couldn't hear about what happened with the dogs because of HIPAA?
Yeah. HIPAA was standing outside the door.
That's actually
threatened me.
A cute name.
HIPAA?
It's like a girl hippo.
This is my dog.
This is my dog.
My black lab named HIPAA.
No, it'd have to be a gray. Oh gosh, a gray pit bull named HIPAA.
Oh, that's kind of cute. I'm giving you guys ideas.
If you guys get a gray pit bull and name it HIPAA, just tag us.
And we'll love you forever.
We'll be like, we'll like the post.
And then we'll talk about it in the next
we'll talk episode. About it. Whoever is that much of a fan that can actually go buy a dog. Oh gosh, that's a good name, HIPAA.
You know what else is good? If you have a great rest of your week and we shut the fuck up.
We're just rocking maniacally in these chairs. Well, you're looking maniac.
You're a maniac.
Thanks for listening. And remember, don't be average.
Keep it above average or below average. We don't care what you choose.
Just don't be average.
Because we're not your average mamas.
Bye.
Bye. Ring, ding, 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 ding.
Bling, 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 bling.